So what we're saying is that YouTube should get some tips from there.
Yeah.
We keep on saying that the internet should, if you want to get like security stuff done, like if you want to learn web security, just go to get Pornhub.
So what we're saying is that YouTube should get some.
Don't they give money to charity and stuff?
I'm sure they must do. Yeah.
And then everyone says no because you're a porn site or whatever. Of all of the big breaches,
So what we're saying is
apparently Pornhub has never actually been hacked.
Yeah, but why? No, who want to hack Pornhub? Because you know it's.
But then
That's why shit. You don't shit when you sleep, do you?
Fair. That's fair. That is fair. I was going to say. Well, you could always, and then when you said that, I was like, yeah, fucking good job, mate. Good job.
I've never even watched Pornhub.
Not all the way through.
Yeah, nothing on there. Not the whole thing.
That was a right shock actually. It was the other week. Chalky's round, and the strict, so I tend to keep that pretty clean. So I was like, you know, look, there's like no ad blockers or no script run or anything, because I don't expect the browser to go anywhere other than like twitch.tv or whatever. So I stupidly leave Chalky in charge of my laptop for the grand total I don't know about.
Why did he do such a stupid
Like
thing?
fucking 2 minutes. I went to the kitchen, I went to the toilet, I come back, fucking Pornhub is loaded up on my fucking laptop. He's loaded up his YouTube channel and his Twitch channel. I was like, thanks man. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. They've probably got like really good security and stuff. I was like, oh, you asshole. Did you have to do that on an unencrypted connection too? Now BT think that I'm into the shit you're into. But,
Okay.
oh well.
I'm surprised Sky haven't sent me a counselor yet.
We've heard, wink wink nudge nudge, that you're into. What do you mean you've heard? What you mean is you've been spying on my line.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bit harsh. No need to be so aggressive. You are though, weren't you? Yeah.
Also, I've never.
Did you get that shed you were after? Well, funny you say that, Sky. Yes, I did.
So does Pornhub charge? Just asking for a friend.
It's free.
It's free.
Yeah. You can't get Pornhub Premium though. It does cost.
Well, that's what I think. That's what I thought was weird when you said that, because I swear I keep hearing that they give to charity and stuff.
Probably
Loads of places, like they think they tried to give a load of money away for cancer research or whatever, and apparently cancer research said no because you're a porn site. And I was like, but they're trying to give you a lot of money.
I can see both sides. That they want to give you a lot of money, but at the same time, if you know, tobacco industry wants to give cancer research a load of money, I think if I was in charge, I'd be
Yeah, but porn doesn't cause cancer, does it?
no.
Just blindness. They should have tried. They should have tried Oxfam. They'd have taken it.
Yes. Well, at least all their workers would.
Yeah. Are we actually on or?
Yeah, we're streaming.
Oh,
We're going. Yeah. Good anybody on the TheSuffolkRam?
I'm Middlemeister.
Skazz.
Welcome to episode 95 of the Bad Nerds podcast. 5 more to go.
And we're gone forever.
North Korea. Yeah.
Yeah.
You going to join us for that one, Tom?
What just Tom doesn't turn up for that one?
I haven't got a passport though. That's the only thing.
Oh, North Korea don't care about
I
that
was going to
sort
say,
of thing.
Kim don't need a passport.
We're like bros with Kim.
Yeah.
You
If not, you never know, Kim might come in.
Yeah, we're closer than that basketball player, whatever his name is.
That guy.
Him. Oh no, it's not Michael Jordan.
No, Dennis Rodman.
That's him, Dennis Rodman.
Oh, that-
Yeah, we're closer than Dennis Rodman to him.
Yeah.
Apparently, Kim doesn't like Dennis Rodman that much. Apparently, Dennis also gets drunk and things, embarrasses him.
Well, you know how it is.
Well, you do.
When you're hanging out with Kim, you got to chill out.
Got to chillax. Chillax, you know, it's
it's not Dennis Rodman's fault, right? We know that Kim's family have had a long history of doing really crazy shit really easily. Kim Jong-il, fucking like hole-in-ones on his first game of golf,
he's amazing.
all the way. They discovered unicorns.
But very humble, because he could have gone to the Open Masters and did that.
Yeah,
but he decided not to do it because he didn't want to embarrass everybody.
Exactly.
Very humble. That's what he deserves about him. He's very humble.
And fucking big Kim now, he doesn't get drunk.
No.
He can't. That's the problem. Is like, Dennis, mate, you need to chill out. You can't fucking beat me in a drinking contest.
Yeah.
Shots? I've been gone my entire life.
He doesn't
Let it
poop
go.
either, does he?
Actually, no. See, Kim has said it. He does.
Oh, he does poop now.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Just sometimes.
But it's gold plated.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Comes out with ribbons.
I am. Yeah, it's like pre-packaged.
Yeah,
It's like
nice.
It's really wrapped.
wrapped and ready to go.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So yeah, but
Feed the
I
people
must admit,
something.
I think I must be on a list somewhere because I've been spending a lot of small amount of time on Amazon looking at North Korea stuff, which is ready for the episode. You know, from flags to bobbleheads to.
Yeah, I want to get the bobblehead.
I'm going to try. I'm going to pick them all up for the North Korean episode. Bobblehead, you know, bobbleheaded Kim, got a little mascot,
Yeah.
some flags, some
I'm just waiting
the
for fucking-
t-shirts.
Right, GCHQ. I've already got you flagged up, and I can guarantee you, as soon as that thing comes through the post, you are going to get raided like a madman.
It probably doesn't help. I've also been researching penetration testing.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You've not really been looking at the cleanest stuff of late, have you?
No.
As far as our government is concerned,
No.
they would rather you went to Pornhub.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's not that much North Korean stuff on Pornhub.
There's some.
There probably is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
that's what Chalky said to me. He said, "Do you know what?" He said, "You'd be surprised what you'd find on these sites." So he said you could actually type in a YouTuber name and find just regular YouTube videos on
Yeah.
Pornhub. I was like, "What?" He's like, "Well, yeah, well, like they don't take anything down from sites like that, do they? So anything that got pulled from YouTube gets put on Pornhub."
Yeah.
But make a note about that.
Randos Pornhub.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, we should put the camera in soft focus.
I'm going to have to put that on when I go.
No, you see,
Randos.
no, what you mean by soft focuses? You just
We'll
get,
change ourselves to Randy nerds.
you just get the Vaseline and you just rub it over the leg.
Yeah, soft
We
focus.
did have one with the lighting changes, didn't we?
That was
The red and the blue and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
That does look like the colour correction's gone terribly wrong on that. So
Yeah.
anyway, shall we start?
Yeah, go on then.
Right, so Skazz, what have you been playing with your kiddie winks at home, making lots of noise and disturbing you constantly?
You'd be surprised actually. My children have been quite good because they've both had games again.
Oh, good.
So I played the occasional game with them that we won't go into because it would include nothing but fucking Minecraft. Wait, what? No, Minecraft and what was that one?
Fortnite.
Oh, Minecraft. Fuck Fortnite. Fuck you saying that swear word in my house, motherfucker. What's your language? Go and wash your mouth out, Nick.
Okay, here we go.
That's better. Saying such a horrible thing.
Alcohol wash.
There. How could he say such a thing? Next you're going to say that my dog's ginger.
He's ginger and he's a whinger.
And I'm fine with that, but saying that F word in my house, how bloody could you? What a dick.
I'd say it's more sunshine brown.
Yeah. Well.
Sort of.
That's what
I
people
was
in Ireland say.
thinking, yeah, sort of more honey coloured, really. Like, you know, the advert of shredded, what was it, shredded wheat, where there's a little, like, honey dripping down. He's got that sort of coloration to
Yeah.
him.
They used to have the honey monster.
Yeah, honey must have disappeared. Do you think he took over the sugar tax?
No, he had that whole, sex scandal thing, wasn't he?
Was he on
involved in all
Pornhub?
that. No, it was, he was friends with Jimmy Savile and all that. Let's not get
Was
into
he?
it.
Oh.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
It's always your heroes that get tempted, isn't it? Jimmy Savile,
I was going to say,
Porn
what
monster.
should we say? A fucking porn monster.
Yeah.
Postman Pat.
The scandals that are
I was
rocking
going to say,
the world.
Postman Pat is definitely on Pornhub.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Farm and Sam must be on there as well.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
With his hose.
I never
Bob
quite.
the Builder, fucking
Oh,
handyman
gosh, yeah.
turning up.
I never trusted the Teletubbies either.
No.
I'm waiting for the scandal to come about the Teletubbies as
Well, he
well.
already has. What is it,
It's
Rule
been brushed.
34, isn't it? Is it
Yeah, it's
34?
well if someone falls of it, it's sex has been involved.
Good
But
old
it's like,
internet.
no matter what's invented, someone will either work out a way to have sex with it or to weaponise it.
4chan. Just find something. I'm sure 4chan will find something that hasn't been, and then make it.
I think, trust me, you find anything, and if you put whatever it is, just type it in and sex afterwards. You'll find
depleted
something.
uranium.
Right, okay, let's do this. So it's on your internet, so it's fine.
Hang on! You get off my
Depleted
connection!
uranium.
you-
Don't think I want to find out what that comes up with, to be honest.
Depleted uranium due to sex and Tissue Pacific in Science Direct.
This is bad.
Wasn't that what?
I wonder how many times my group has now gone, hang on a minute, hang on.
There might be a superhero called Sex Man who was created by completely random.
Parents were watching Deadpool when I left the house, and I caught a bit of it.
Why
Actually, it's
okay?
quite. I don't know, it's quite funny. It's the bit I saw. He's beating up this guy with a chrome thing and he keeps breaking his wrists.
Oh, that's one.
Oh, yeah, that's the first one. He's trying to take shots at Colossus.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't as what I thought. It's depleted uranium due to sex and tissue-specific methylation patterns in adult zebrafish.
Oh, yeah. I feel
Now, with a title like that, you're going to find that on Pornhub.
I thought that's what it was going to be about.
I'll put a link to this in the show notes for anybody who's interested about what happens to zebrafish if you put depleted uranium with them.
Okay.
I would imagine they die.
Not necessarily. The scare of radiation has actually been very vastly overstated because it's actually been surprising they discovered that it's not actually as super high doses. Yes, are very deadly. Much of fact, it's not a logarithmic scale.
I was going to say, but so super high doses of
Anything, yeah.
sugar.
Well, I think they've only with Chernobyl,
Water.
they've actually only been able to attribute about 60 deaths to it. Everything else is just within all margin of error. So, like anyone who lived nearby didn't get evacuated, they were explained to see a lot more rates of cancer and so forth. No different to base population.
Sure.
Even the workers, one of the guys, there are 3 guys who swum and had to go and drain a load of water underneath the reactor because it's going to melt down, hit this water, and basically explode and spill the radioactive material outside. They swum underneath the reactor into this heavily radiated area, drained the water. I think 2 of them are still alive. The first one died in 2005, like his 70s.
Didn't 2 of them become one enjoyed person though?
No. So it's surprising actually. There's a Horizon documentary on it, and it's surprising actually how mistaken they were about how dangerous actually radiation actually is.
Well, that's what I thought was funny when my wife was watching a show about what is it? Some kind of dodgy tourism where like, oh, there's been a natural disaster, let's go and check that out. Or hey, radiation, let's go fuck around here for a week.
Dark tourism, isn't it?
That might have been the thing. And they were like, oh yeah, there was a the reactors went fucking Fruit Loop, and all of these people died. What they don't mention is the majority of the deaths came from the fucking tidal waves, the big old fucking
Fukushima.
the fucking tsunamis that come through.
Fukushima, that would be referred to, because no one's died as a result of Fukushima from the reactor.
Yeah, that's what I thought was really weird. I was like, because I said to the wife, I was like, how many did they say fucking died? I said, that came out of nowhere.
No.
And then just randomly later on, they show the scenes where entire villages have just been wiped out.
Yeah, so, oh, right, that wasn't bad. I do want to, and this is one of the things I want to do before I die, I want to visit the zone around Chernobyl.
Then let's put it on the list.
Yeah, should we
Get
just
the Ram Nerds Talk
200.
This is not me being silly for
No.
YouTube. I really do want to go visit
You mentioned that to me
the Chernobyl zone. Yeah,
the other day.
I really do.
Yep.
You can do tours around it. You can stay at a hotel.
Chap I know has gone through, took loads of photos.
I would love to go around there.
There's a movie called Chernobyl Diaries where they do that and they get attacked by mutants.
Yeah, of course. I'm playing documentary. But
What do you mean fucking attacked by mutants? If you want to see mutants, just go down to Last of Time.
To be fair, all you go to Yarmouth.
I think that's where they got a lot of the cast from.
That's Yarmouth
All
Diaries.
clutching their iPhones.
Yarmouth Diaries is the sequel.
Oh god.
Anyway, what have we been playing, Skazz?
Yeah. Other than playing random Nintendo Switch games with the kids. By the way, proud parenting moment. My eldest son beat me 2 straight fucking games on Galro Mark of the Wolves, a fighting game.
And did you let him win?
Fuck no! I never go easy on my kids.
Now, did he beat you because he was better? That you're saying old and your reactions are dying. You're basically just not. You've had
that could be the excuse that I'll use. No, I was
It's quite a technical fight, that one, isn't it?
Well, it's
like
a standard SNK 4-button fighter, but it's probably one of the better of the time.
Yeah.
But he actually beat me as my best character, and then when I rolled back to another character, he fucking flattened me again, and I was like, okay then, fucking cheeky little shit.
It's that proudest moment when the child does the parent.
That was, I thought it was absolutely brilliant, but then, so he beat me twice earlier on in the day, and then later on in the day we played again, and I fucking flattened it straight out. I was like, there you go. Well,
most people celebrate their child's first word, first walking. Skazz's only thing he's probably ever going to put up is like the first time my child beat me, I beat him up.
Well, I'd also like to throw out there that my children, both of them, beat Fantasy Star Online under the age of like, I don't know, 7.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
They went through a game that fucking most people I know haven't beaten.
Yeah. They're young little reactions, you see. It's like platformers. Because by the time you get to about sort of 13, 14, you've had it for platformers. You just got to accept you'll never ever be able to beat them because you're just too old.
I can still beat Super Mario World, but that's muscle memory, I think.
Exactly. Yeah. It's but it's just not going to happen.
Yep.
It just simply is not going to happen. So
Jeez.
anyway, Skazz, what have you been playing?
What have you been playing? Stop
I will say we're recording for 16 minutes so
Stop
far.
derailing it, you fucker. Alright. God, your languages, guys. It's just so...
Come on, Trapface, what have you been playing?
Go on,
Yeah,
dickhead.
fucker.
Oh, he swore! Woo!
Every once in a while I throw one.
Thomas swears.
Oh
I throw him
my
in there.
God. This must be a dream. First you put up a thumbnail and now fucking Tom's swearing.
I just realised we've never actually had an opportunity to say Thomas was alone.
No.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
Well, you two are always there, aren't you? So.
Well, we better go.
Right, at the end of the podcast, right, we're going to just run out of the room and shout Thomas was alone, okay?
Yeah.
We've got to do that, okay?
Oh,
I've
God.
never
We'll
even
forget. It's a good game.
Yeah, it's a good game.
Yeah, cheers.
It's narrated by Danny somebody, who's
What's-
a comedian.
I watched a horror movie the other day starring Thomas Middlemeister. That freaked me right out. He's actually quite a big actor.
Is he?
Yeah, he's in that Silicon Valley show,
Is he?
comedy, and then now he's in movies.
Yeah, you've just revealed.
Nah.
No one's watching Super.
No one ever watches
No
that.
one's watching.
It won't be archived for all eternity, CF5.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Right, anyway, Skazz, we've been playing.
Christ.
Do you remember, was it January or February Monster Hunter World came out on PS4?
March, I
Wait, I've been sad and listening to the old podcasts, because all the ones I've edited but not actually listened to on my phone, and it was January time we're discussing that, because we discussed it in the New Year's podcast.
Yeah. Because, yeah. Did you find out which one it was that Bird mentioned, Garo, Mark of the Wolves, and then I completely
No, it's the trouble is, you see, I had a quick look, but because when you and Barry used to get together, you list off about 30 games, and like, fucking
No, that was his main. That was his main.
No, definitely, because they'd been linked into it.
I was there when he talked about that game. You and him were talking about it. I was there for one of those discussions about that game.
Sure.
That game came out.
Well, I had a quick look, I didn't, maybe I missed
No, that was an earlier one. He did mention it earlier on in the podcast as well. But either way,
Hang on.
Nick, you won't find it on the website because I've already looked. It's not actually listed. There you go. Everyone's dead. Right.
Sorry.
Monster Hunter.
Sorry. I'm very sorry.
I'm very sorry. Monster Hunter World came out in January, February time. For PS4, and I fucking raged. I love Monster Hunter. I've been playing them now since back when me and you were in college, back when they first came out.
I remember you now talking about Monster Hunter.
I used to love playing it on PS2, and then it came out on PSP, and that was like the system seller. PSP. Like if you wanted a PSP, the only game you needed was Monster Hunter. That was hours and hours and hours of playtime on that. They changed a lot of things. They made Monster Hunter World Baby's first Monster Hunter. A lot of things that you couldn't get away with in other previous Monster Hunter titles, you could easily do in Monster Hunter World. Like for example, you couldn't just stand there and you couldn't just chug a health potion in Monster Hunter without timing it and making sure you were safe. Because if you did, the monster would aggro and steamroll you. In Monster Hunter World, you could chug a potion and still walk and not full speed run, but still get your run on. So it was less dangerous to do a lot of things in Monster Hunter World. Gathering was a lot easier in Monster Hunter World. Auto crafting is a thing. Unlimited pickaxes, unlimited whetstones and stuff like that. They made it easier. It was Baby's first game. There was no real hunt because the game showed you where the monster was. And I burnt a lot of time on it on PS4 when it first came out. I think the first month I must have put in 70 hours, which for me is pretty hard. I very rarely played games at the time. So me and Divine went fucking hardcore on it as two old school Monster Hunter players. He really enjoyed it. I thought it was alright, but it was only really fun if you were playing it with other people. Gameplay wise, I just couldn't let go of half the changes to it. I just wanted to fucking table flip most of the time. Plus, it was unstable as jank on PS4, for me at least. Divine and his hunter group very rarely had any issues with it. Every time I finished a hunt, before the save screen, the game would just boot me out. It would just kick me out of the game, blue screen, crash the
To
console.
be fair, it was a PS4 issue, though, wasn't it? Not the game issue.
No, because, well, potentially, but then I wiped my PlayStation 4 completely, cleared it, and reinstalled the firmware. So it was as if I'd put a fresh hard drive in it, and it still did it. So we couldn't be sure what the problem was in the grand scheme. It seemed to work okay on Inky's PlayStation 4, but because I was already quite sour on Monster Hunter World, and the game kept booting me, I just said, no, I've had enough. I just had enough. I couldn't go anymore. I still had a wee bit of the story left to do. I just gave up on it. A lot of my lot said they were going to get it on PC, but ended up getting it on PS4 because they realised that everyone that would have already played it by the time it came out on PS4 on PC. So what the fuck? What was the point in there? All the hardcore would have already finished. Well, it came out on PC a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
I think about a week ago-ish. Maybe a week and a half, kind of.
10 days ago.
Some point between our last podcasts.
10 days ago.
That's the only time frame I care about.
10 days
between my
ago.
podcasts.
So, I bought it. Even though I ranted and raved about it on the PS4 version, even though I said, no, I'm not going to fucking buy it on the PC, because it's shit. I've been having a bit of Monster Hunter withdrawal, and the new Monster Hunter, the Nintendo Switch Monster Hunter, doesn't come out until, it's 10 days away.
That's a remake of one of the older ones, isn't it?
Yes, it's Monster Hunter Generations, which is Monster Hunter Double Cross in Japan. It's the 2016 Monster Hunter game on 3DS.
Oh, I had that.
Yeah, what they've done is they've done what they did with Monster Hunter 3U and Monster Hunter 3 on PSP. So you've got the PSP version and the PS3 version. Same game, you can move your hunter between both. Same with 3U and on 3DS and Wii U, you can move your hunter between the two. Same thing with the Switch game. You can actually transfer your hunter from Generations on the 3DS to the Switch game. And then you'll be like, I'm never playing my 3DS again because this is portable anyway. I was like, I want to play that game, and it didn't. I wanted to play Monster Hunter. I got a deal on it, and I took a crack at it. All of the problems that were present in the fucking PS4 release are still there. They've had what were we in August?
Yeah.
They've had 8 months.
Oh dear.
You know, they've had between 6 and 8 months to fix these problems, and our server says they're still fucking there. All of them, not just some of them, all of them.
That's unusual because you don't hear too many complaints about that, do you? When people are sort of testing the game, but
Oh my god, no. Gameplay wise, fine.
yeah.
Anything that involves connecting to the internet.
I have to say, we've had a few comments, and
What?
someone is, I think, if I understand it correctly, they're happy that they're talking that there's another stream on that's got more, it's far more interested in us, and they're glad because you're not in it.
Oh, great.
It's Scene Cat, if that's one of your friends.
Yeah.
So,
What I
see, hiya.
No.
Yeah, I won't plug it,
No,
but anyone on Twitch can see it. But we're on Twitch.
Yeah, we're on
Yeah,
Twitch.
Hi, Scene Cat.
So yeah,
Follow us.
anything involving servers, it doesn't work, and we think it might have actually been a server issue that was booting me on the PS4 version as well, because when you finish a hunt, it then has to complete another handshake with the server,
Right.
and it does this on the PC version as well. If it loses connection to the server, it will hang at the exact same place that it would crash on the PS4 until the PC version doesn't just go and then throw you out to a menu. It just says, oh, hang on, no internet connection, and then sends you back to the single player mode, which is much better. Just annoying that after all this time Capcom still haven't sorted it out. And then someone said to me, yeah, but how could they have guessed that it was going to be this popular? It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Always
It's
say
the
that.
most popular game they've released in nearly 1,000 years. It sold millions.
I was going to release Resident Evil 1.
Literally millions of copies on PS4 and Xbox, to the point that they were giving people items in-game every million as part of a celebration. We had special events in the game every million.
Do you think the game, if they do a sequel to the game, Monster Hunter World, I know it's got all those other problems, but the game might work out better because it's quite good at bringing new people in, isn't it? Like you've said before. So do you think if they do a sequel that's more like the original, like more hardcore, people might you wouldn't forgive it for its folly?
Well, no, I just don't think that it'll be as popular. A lot of so a lot of people didn't realise that Monster Hunter existed before World. A lot of people jumped in, but there's one quest in particular that everyone gets to, if they even get that far, and they're like, can't do it, can't fucking do it, and that's where you have to hunt down a new species of Raytheon. However, it's not as simple as just going to a map and hunting it. You have to first get to high rank, which could be about 20 to 30 hours, right? You then have to go around high rank missions and find this question mark Raytheon tracks. The mission will not start, the story will not progress until you find enough of them.
Are they random or are they like preset?
They are preset in certain areas on a map, but you'll have to go to that map a couple of times or spend a couple of hours running around waiting for them to respawn. It's a fucking drag. That's where I am again now in the story. It won't be that bad now on PC because
so is it actually hard or just like, oh,
it's
fuck's
fucking
sake?
it's tedious.
Tedious, yeah.
Because people don't want to do it. It literally stops them from doing what it was they wanted to do. They want to get to the next point in the story. The game says no, you're going to have to repeat a bunch of old hunts so that you can go back onto these maps to find the tracks. And it's not quick. It's not a quick process. But on the PS4 version for me it was a nightmare because if I did a mission where I found the tracks, if I crashed out, I'd then have to go and do it again. So I could end up spending literally hours finding these tracks only to be booted out of the game after the fact and then have to do it again. I managed to stomach it on the PS4. PC is going to be easier, but...
So have they changed anything to the PC version?
No, it's exactly the fucking same.
Even any graphical upgrades? No?
Not really, not in the grand scheme. I mean, look, it's a beautiful game, even on PS4. It just holds the frame rate better, in my opinion. Even on my janky machine, if you set it on high, not ultra settings, high, and then turn it to adaptive frame rate or frame rate scaling priority. So you'll know about this dynamic resolution on PS4 allows you to say I want to play this game and I want it locked at either 60 or I want it at 4K. One or the other. Right? Monster Hunter World on PC has that option just like the PS4 Pro version.
Right.
I just set the game to high mode, which it did by default, and then rather than saying dynamic resolution or dynamic scaling for, and then it was either graphical quality or frame rate, and I said go frame rate.
Yeah.
And it sits at near 60 all of the time.
Yeah, because there's some pro games that says like favourite performance or favourite resolution. You kind of
It looks weird because you'll start to see like things go on higher and lower quality. You will literally just see it happening as you're sat there on a...
Yeah, it's almost like pop-ups.
Not even just popping, but like you'll see like 1 minute is sharp, then it goes blurry, then it goes sharp, and it's almost got a shimmery effect when it does it. If you're just stood there still, you'll see it happening as things animate. But not bad. There's things that they changed in Monster Hunter still annoy the fuck out of me. It's still pretty fun. It is still pretty fun, but to me it's still not Monster Hunter in the grand scheme. The trouble with Monster Hunter on PC, it has a competitor that's free to play called Dauntless.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I think that might have come up my... Steam tries to guess what games you want to play.
I don't think Dauntless is on Steam.
I must have seen it elsewhere then. I see so many games now for this. The Steam games thinks games that Steam thinks you want to play, but it's completely inappropriate.
I've got it, but I've not had a chance to play it yet. It looks very, very
definitely
nice.
heard of it though.
Very much Monster Hunter World, but free to play, and quicker paced, from what I understand. So a lot of people who find they don't like Monster Hunter World are going to throw out there maybe try Dauntless. I think it's called Dauntless. Yeah, the gameplay is exactly the same as the console version. I've got no real complaints there outside of what I said back on the PS4 version. It's more stable in playing this time around than it was on PS4. But my God, Capcom, how you have managed to go this long and not manage to fix the fucking servers, I will never know. You try and matchmake at the start of a session, nope. 9 times out of 10 doesn't work. Sometimes you try and join a quest, nope. Okay, so you want to change to someone else's session, nope. Very rarely have I managed to get into a session with my own mates. Or even connect to a session at all. But hopefully they iron these problems out over the next couple of weeks, but I reckon by the time they fix the problems, most people have just left it. Because Monster Hunter tends to, you know, once people get to that Raytheon quest, they're just going to say, fuck this. Be done with it.
That's why I love Persona 5. They released that game with like a day one patch. It hasn't been patched once since. They just released that game completely, you know, on point without any issues. They just released it like it was an old, you know, PS1, PS2 era game.
That's why I can't understand why they had this problem though, because they delayed the PC release of Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
They fucking delayed it. And they still can't get the servers to work. It's like, how could you... Well, when people said to me about load, it's like, but it was one of the best-selling games on PS4 and Xbox. They know how popular this game is. They were banking on it being popular. Are you saying to me that the second the game launched, the servers turned to fucking mush? Christ. But either way, it's alright. I'm still playing it. I'm going to try and beat the story mode. I'm giving it 10 more days and then it's going on the shelf. Because then an actual Monster Hunter...
The virtual shelf?
Yeah. And then a Monster Hunter, then an actual Monster Hunter game is coming out, so I'll be playing the shit out of that.
Cool.
So
Nice.
Oh, and we've got a cart counter on the live stream, so every time you get knocked out by a monster, you get carted. I think when we were doing it on PS4, I might have been carted less than 10 times before I got to high rank. I'm now on high rank on the PC version. I've been carted 3 whole times. The game is easy as fucking balls.
Cool.
So,
Right, Middlemeister.
I've only played it briefly. My voice is going, but it's Dead Cells on Switch.
how could you be fucking losing your voice? I've been the one speaking.
I know.
I've been talking shit.
Yeah,
at
but you
great
don't
length.
think Middlemeister doesn't come on very often, so
No,
he's practically,
he's not
he just spends the whole 2 weeks or months.
You
just
stood there in
training.
front of the mirror going,
Yeah,
And this is
ain't
gonna
no
be
pretty and stuff like that. But yeah, no, Dead Cells. For this review, I was going to take what IGN had written and read that out. But
oh, Philip Newton.
yeah.
Do you know the really crazy thing, actually? I know the guy, kind of.
Oh wow! I actually came across. I was actually looking for reviews of Dead Cells to see what people were saying about it, and I saw that Boomstick YouTube thing, and he was saying, "I think IGN copied my review. What do I do?" And I just saw that because I was looking for reviews, and I couldn't believe that, and I thought something's going to happen here, and then
We'd
it all kicked off.
spoken to Philip. Well, I fucking ranted at Philip, and I watched a lot of Philip's stuff.
Yeah.
Years ago, I was going to say years ago. He really
His own
started when the Switch came out. He actually had a Switch dedicated channel. He hasn't posted anything on it since he got his job with IGN. But let's put it this way: the second he announced, "Yeah, man, I've got a job with IGN," it's like, wrong, you're gone, mate.
Have you seen that apology video that he
No,
did? Where
because he didn't put that
anything
on.
wrong?
I don't even think he put that on his actual channel.
Ah.
Unless he's got a new channel now. But
Because he said he didn't do anything wrong, didn't he? And that made it worse for him.
I'll be honest with you, couldn't give a fuck.
No. I just sort of said, that game's obviously had a little bit of that with it packed in, but anyway, talk
A
about
lot
the
of
game.
people hadn't heard about the game until this.
Can I just guess? Is Dead Cells about fixing issues with LCD monitors?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Good.
But no, not Dead Cells, yeah. But it's actually a roguelike, technically, but it's more of a metroidvania really, because the style is very Castlevania, gore, gothic. You're basically in an ever-changing castle, and like
Is it one of those procedurally generated?
yes, every time you die, it does
It
change
flips
the
about.
layout, and you get a map like you do with Symphony of the Night and Metroid and all that kind of thing. and it's all about how far you can get before you die, and it rechanges. But what happens is when you get to a boss, like the first boss, you get a permanent upgrade that lets you do something new. And I managed to get to the first boss, defeat that one after a couple of attempts. And when you go through the game the first time, there's these like corpses on the ground, and you can just tickle them for some whatever reason. But once you get this upgrade, they then turn into vines. So you can then climb the vines.
Yeah.
And obviously that leads to new areas. But it's very satisfying combat. It feels really kind of visceral, and you really chunky gore and everything going on. You get a lot of sort of weapon choices. You can have like a bow and arrow and a sword, or a sword and then a shield. You can kind of adapt
You've
that.
got like whips and
Yeah.
stuff like that for traditional Castlevania style games.
You get like those games. You also get 2 like additional weapons that have a cooldown time. You get like a bomb, or you get like a mobile little turret, which is really handy. You have all these little things that help you get further and further, and those you can upgrade, and then they become permanent, which is why it's kind of roguelike. But there's, you know, as you slowly progress through the game, it does change, because you know you get all these upgrades that make the game easier and easier.
Yeah, sure.
I believe there's 9 worlds in it, 9 kind of styles, and then within that obviously sort of various levels, and they're structured kind of like you go through one pace, get to the end of that, and you meet someone who will sell you like items, like a potion, and then a little bit that helps you regenerate all that potions. Then you'll beat the boss, and you try to get to another area that lets you return there, and another boss, and then it kind of just progresses like that, with you getting upgrades that just last for that run.
Sure.
And then permanent upgrades. There's also special rooms that have loads and loads of goodies. But you have to get to those rooms really, really quickly.
Right.
I think that's from Spire Speedrun. So you have to get there within like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I know I always get there and it says, if you had been here 5 minutes, 20 seconds earlier,
sure.
and it has a little timer at the bottom to tell you how long you've been alive for. Your character is like, he looks kind of cool. He's just got like a fiery head, like a fire for a head. And I think the thing is, I think it's a punishment that every time you die, you just start again. And you slowly have to try and find your way through this castle, which has been cursed. I think the issue is just to get to the end and defeat the big bad, and then kind of undo it all. I think it's about, you could end up playing about 60 hours of this game. I think for the first 2 hours, 2.5 hours I've played it, it's probably might be my favourite Switch game so far.
I was going to say, did you buy it on Switch?
Yeah, it's very. I think it is only on this. No, it's on PS4 as well.
It's on. I know it's
I
on
think
Switch and PC, because the PC version also has a Linux port, so I was tempted to get it on.
But
Linux.
Yeah, obviously for me, if there's something like that on the Switch, I'll get it on the Switch.
Yeah, for sure.
But
I was tempted.
I know
but, like,
yours very.
It's a toss up for me, because actually I bought a game that I already own on PC on Switch today anyway.
Yeah.
It's a S.T.A.L.K.E.R and a visual novel.
Right.
Comes out later on this month on Switch.
Yeah.
I already own it on PC, but I just bought it because I was like, that's only a little cheap. I was like, just to encourage more developments like this on Switch. Yeah, I did look into Dead Cells. Although the thing is though, because it was an indie metroidvania style game, I was like, 17 to 20 quid. I was like, that's a bit steep.
Yeah, it is very, very good now. I managed to pre-order on Switch, and if you pre-ordered it at a certain time, you got it for 14 quid.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, plus like an extra 70p for previous games that I bought.
Oh,
there,
sure.
that
I didn't realise it had such a big discount.
Yeah, so it cost me 13 something in the end with an extra little discount. But it's it looks brilliant. Like, it's really, really good art style to that game, and it's very fluid. It's, you know, the frame rate dips occasionally on Switch, as you kind of expect when everything's going crazy.
It's a very pretty game considering what it is.
Yeah, for the it's one of those small budget games, but it looks amazing. Combat is really, really satisfying. You kind of feel, I'm not a big roguelike fan, but with this one you actually do feel like you make progress. Normally it's just like, rinse and repeat, but this one does. The further you get into the game, the more changes they make to it, and you feel like you're actually making an impact in the world.
Yeah.
That's a very highly recommended game. Maybe wait for a sale again if you want to get it a bit cheaper, because it is a little bit pricey. But yeah, very, very good game. Yeah, and yeah, go for it. If you're into metroidvania roguelike games, highly recommended.
Cool.
Awesome. So I've been playing S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Chernobyl,
Right.
the original S.T.A.L.K.E.R. game, but with a slight twist. Because I played S.T.A.L.K.E.R. many years ago when it first came out, which we know, so we've said it was 2007. Played it through, and one of the great things about S.T.A.L.K.E.R. was they're like literally fan mods of it. It's one of those games that the modders have just grabbed hold of and just worked on. So when S.T.A.L.K.E.R. had a bit of a torturous history to it. It was announced, I think, initially 2001, and it was promising to be this amazing game. So it's set around Chernobyl reactor zone, the first kilometres, and when they first announced it, it was going to be the whole 30 kilometres was going to be explorable, the whole area, every little bit was going to be explorable. You're going to have drivable vehicles in it. You know, other S.T.A.L.K.E.R. had this AI system called A-Life, and the S.T.A.L.K.E.R.s if a S.T.A.L.K.E.R. saw you, they might like beckon you over and like. They'd have all these animations so that they hold their gun out to show that they're friendly and so forth. It looked incredible. All the demo videos looked incredible.
Is Pete Molyneux involved?
It might as well have been. I think it was the Ukraine version of him.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, by the time as it got further along, news started disappearing. I think at one point there was about 2 years between updates, where they actually said something. Then 2 years later, and people actually thought it was vaporware. It was never going to come out. Then 2007 rolls around. All of a sudden, we've got a release date planned. I think it was originally meant to be planned released in 2003. So it rolls around.
I swear I remember you talking about that, like before 2007. I remember you was super psyched about it.
Yeah, I was. It looked incredible what they were doing, and they had videos of all the stuff working. And we now know those videos obviously were very helpful, were very well staged. So it gets released 2007, and even when it's released 2007, it's quite clearly a still in beta version. I mean, I bought the collector's edition because I was so psyched for it because it looked amazing. Bought the collector's edition, played it, and within 20 minutes it's crashing on me. And it's literally, if you're running Windows XP, it does crash all the time. Sorry about that. We'll get a patch later.
Them were the days.
Them were the days. So they got patched, and I don't think even ran. Was Vista out by 2007?
Yeah.
I don't think it even ran on Vista at all. I vaguely remember hearing
really?
that. I vaguely remember, but there were so many issues with it.
Well, yeah, I would have done because if you remember Vista, we got university keys.
Yeah, I vaguely remember Vista. It didn't run at all. It was very prone to not.
Nothing ran on Vista.
Yeah,
nothing worth a bollock
shit.
on Vista.
So
Vista didn't even run.
When you got it, there were no drivable vehicles in it.
Okay.
The big focal zone was not explored, but it was split into sub-maps and everything, and they literally toned it right down.
I was going to say, because 30 kilometres on machines of the day, my God, the RAM requirements right there.
No,
what kind of RAM did we have back then, Adam?
God, 2007, DDR2. I'm trying to think my rig back then. My rig probably only had like 4 gigs, I'd guess. I'd have to look for eBay and see what my rig was like back then.
Yeah.
All the history and see what I always.
I don't even think I had 4 gigs until about 2008.
Yeah, it's probably about that. It depends when I bought my last upgraded PC. No, actually, I wouldn't have been that high because I bought a machine in 2009, so I was still been using an old machine. So I tend to keep machines about 5-6 years before I build a new one.
Yeah.
So I've been using a machine I've been using at college.
Yeah.
That goes back. So it was clearly not finished. They did patch it and so forth, and they made it runnable. It would run, but it still wasn't great. However, what saved it? Atmosphere is amazing in this game. It is proper got a creepy atmosphere. I can't describe it. Even now, playing it now, I still get the chills down my spine walking around the old varmints. I remember being at college. Actually, I was at university time doing my cultural degree. I remember getting locked out of my house. I'd walked down to one of the I was trying to find something. I walked down to one of the nearby empty farms. It was completely empty.
You started freaking the
It did.
out.
I think, God, we're getting hit by a bloodsucker any second now. It was. Yeah, honestly, it got that. It had that atmosphere in it. It still was good to play. It was very buggy, but everybody still liked it. But because the fans got involved in it and people loved it so much, then someone released an updated patch for it last year. So yes, but there was one. There were a couple of mods. Now what I've done this to was, so when I first played, I played through vanilla, apart from their own patches that fix a lot of the problems. I'll always point out it supported Ultra Ride right from the offset.
Yeah.
Bethesda, S.T.A.L.K.E.R, 2007, obvious beta, supported Ultra Ride. Just saying.
Well, the fact that you're expecting Bethesda to release a game that actually works full stop.
Yeah. So what I've done this time is there's several big mods for it. There are some mods that literally add everything back into it. All stuff that they remove, they put back in. So that they add in missing maps, they add in the vehicles and so forth. But those mods are known as being incredibly broken because there's a reason why they took out the driver versions. And they fix it. There are some mods that okay, we're not going to go mad, we're just going to try and fix the bugs, and we're going to just tweak it a bit. So there's a couple of big ones. I'm playing one called the Complete mod, which was the last stable version released 2009, the most recent release. That is the one that pretty much patched all the major bugs, because there were some horrific bugs in this. There's one you go in a building and there's a chap there and you go, "S.T.A.L.K.E.R, come here, I've got something to talk to you about," because all in Russian accents. "S.T.A.L.K.E.R, come here, I've got something to talk to you about. S.T.A.L.K.E.R, come here, I've got something to talk to you about. S.T.A.L.K.E.R, come here, I've got something to talk to you about. S.T.A.L.K.E.R, come here." And it never stopped.
Okay.
Yeah,
Even when you walked away, you were on the other side of the 30k map and you could still hear it.
Yeah. So, hello, Jet. So yeah, they add all this stuff into it. They add all this all this. They fix a lot of those main bugs. They've tweaked a lot of the graphics as well. The graphics look even prettier. I mean, it was a really good looking game for the time even then. Even though it was 7 years late, some of the things they could do were really good looking.
Far Cry come out. That was before.
Oh, Far Cry 2000. It was before. No, it was quite early on because I was playing Crisis when I was at college, doing my degree. I was playing S.T.A.L.K.E.R at the same time. It wasn't, but it's nowhere near as pretty as Crisis. Because Crisis was amazingly pretty. But it was definitely. I mean, it's definitely. I would say it's got that sort of I would say it's like think Rogue Spear level graphic. You know, everything's all quite boxy, but somehow it's got really. The environments are really atmospheric. It's not.
It has a charm to it.
Yeah, it's pretty in a way that it's not great graphics, but it's atmospheric to it. It's really lovely to play and so forth. So the basic idea of S.T.A.L.K.E.R is it's set around Chernobyl, and in 2006 there was, now when the game was announced, this was in the future obviously, 2006. By the time it got released, it's in the past.
That's why Capcom did it right when they said, it's this game takes place in 20XX.
Oh
Got plenty of time.
So so obviously the Chernobyl had an exclusion put around it when the reactor went up. Then in 2006 there's a second incident. And when that happens, all of a sudden it creates all these mutant creatures starting, so if all the animals become mutated, there's these things called anomalies, which are like these sort of areas where physics basically no longer apply. And they are like sort of range from annoying to lethal. So it'll be like an anomaly where if you walk into it, it basically just picks you up and compresses you to the size of a small tin can. And obviously kills you. That kills you, unfortunately.
That's a minor annoyance.
Yeah, there's ones that sort of incinerate you, and there's ones that sort of like dissolve you.
So where are the minor annoyances then? Where are the little
they're
ones?
Ones that sort of like electrocute you. Yeah, but even
being electrocution.
it does take half your health off. This is a tough. Can we
just throw out there that electrocution is fatal?
Yeah,
there's never a time when you will be electrocuted and leave.
You get electric shock.
This is a fence.
No, it's electric shock.
Yeah, still a shock.
Oh, okay, right.
Electrocution is death.
Right,
yes.
yeah.
So you get electric shocks on these things. I think it's actually called the shocker.
Yeah.
But
I mean, so there's not one that you just step into and you piss your pants every single time.
Oh no.
That one would be mine.
Some of them are like hard to see. Some of them literally you can only see by disturbances in the leaves on the ground.
Right.
You have got an anomaly detector, which I think the very original design document you weren't going to have straight away. You just had to rely on looking at the terrain, reading the terrain to work out what the anomalies were. And obviously you've got things like radiation, because it's set in Chernobyl. There's lots of areas with high radiation, which if you go near you'll get poisoned. But you can drink vodka to get rid of it, so it's fine.
There you go, mate.
Because vodka's the known cure for all radiation poisoning. But
That's
when
a shame, because I can't drink vodka.
Yeah, but these anomalies also created what they call artifacts. And they're basically like strange things that have some weird properties. So, for example, you might pick an architect. Yes, yeah, I love bloodsuckers. You pick up an artifact, and it might, like, say, cause your blood sore. It makes your blood clot quicker, so it means you don't bleed so easily. So if you get like a wound, you'll suffer less blood loss from it.
Sure.
At the same time, it also irradiates you. Swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
As long as you're paying
Drink more vodka.
Drink more vodka. Obviously, he's become highly valued and highly prized, and because they're worth a lot of money to people. So groups of people start exploring the zone, and these people are called stalkers.
Ta-da!
Ta-da. And you start the game off. It's weird start because you're rescuing what they call death truck. These trucks that come from sort of, no one knows where they come from. They just come out and they drive very often. Often they find damaged and broken ones.
Southern France.
But you're all covered from these death trucks, and you have a mark on your arm which says Stalker. And you're the only person, and then they found people before this mark, but they've always been dead. You're the first person that they found this mark, which means you're alive. And they bring you in, and they find you've got a PDA on you, and the PDA simply says, kill S.T.A.L.K.E.R.
Personal digital assistant for anyone that doesn't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a very good point actually, because everybody carries PDAs. This is one of the things about the game is that it's designed to be very sort of game which is very much sort of, you know how Far Cry 2 was like everything was in the game, so your map was in game, there's nothing out of the world as it were, so when you look to the map the game was still running around you, you could get attacked and killed and so forth. This is like that. So you bring your PDA up, for example, and the PDA will also like scan everybody nearby you, so everybody in your area. So when you like sort of approach an area, you can look at your PDA and you can see who's nearby. Also, it doesn't work on mutants; it only works on humans. But you can see all like you get all context, and everybody has a name. Every person's got a name, affiliation, so forth. So whenever you ram your guns on down, you can look up they've got a name title and they are an actual person.
Oh shit! He's got 2 kids. Pop, pop, pop. Make sure he's still dead.
Well, they're bandits. It's fine. And you have reputation as well. So initially, everybody sort of are neutral to you. So the factions you've got just what they call loners, which is like which is the default faction, which basically means you're not feeling over anybody. You're just out for yourself. Maybe not a freelancer. You've got a faction called Duty, and Duty they are stalkers, but they think the zone is a bad thing. They want to try and control it. So they sort of spend a lot of time sort of trying to secure the zone, keep it under lock and key, stop stuff getting out of it. Basically keep it under control. They think it's dangerous to the world. Freedom, who are the exact opposite, they think everybody should be able to exit the zone, so obviously them and Duty don't get on very well. And there's the military, so the military guard the outer zone, and officially they don't like people going into the zone because they don't want people doing it.
Well, they're not doing a very good bloody job, are they?
Well, officially they don't, and they will shoot you on sight, but they also send their own teams in. So they have their own place in the zone and so forth. They also guard the cordon where you start. There's actually military outposts which you can go and attack and fight, but you are going to be heavily outnumbered at the start of the game. And they will but obviously the people theirs who you can like slip money to, and obviously they get money in and out of the world, and they slip artifacts out through the military and so forth. You've got your bandits who are the generic bad guy humans you're going to encounter. There's some mercenaries in there. There's some other factions as well who you come across later on in the game, who I won't spoil too much.
Just a thought. You said they all start neutral. You do know that the second I fire up that game, everyone, regardless, will instantly come up hostile.
Yes, they will. Yeah. So if you start shooting, well, that's interesting. Cause it's got this.
Hey, look, it's the local pacifist. Oh shit! He's running at me with a knife. Well.
Well,
here we go again.
So the game, the AI has tried this AI simulation system. So the idea behind that is it's trying to simulate almost a living, breathing world before it all became a big thing. So the monsters you encounter, they'll have territories. They will hunt for food, and you'll come across like mutant dogs, for example. They come across like a dead human. They'll grab it and they'll drag it off and they'll start eating it and so forth. They'll hunt. They have territory. You can like dog packs. If you take up the alpha lead, the alpha of the pack, the rest will back off you and leave you alone. The other stalkers as well. The stalkers are quite clever. The AI it swings between being an early sort of 2000s game. The AI is between incredibly clever and incredibly dumb, but they will try and outflank you. They will do suppressing fire to try and keep you where you are, so they can then move around and take you out. So they are quite clever. I mean, and some things like when you approach them, if you've got your gun out. They will basically refuse to talk to you. They'll hold their gun to you and say, you ain't coming anywhere near me unless you put your gun down. You have to holster your weapon and so forth before they let you talk to you. So little things like that.
Did you hear about Aliens Colonial Marines, the AI in that?
No.
Recent news story.
Yeah,
The reason it was so
misspelled
bad
it.
was because of a spelling mistake. Instead of the word tether, they put in the word teether. And someone only recently on YouTube discovered that. They misspelled one of the words.
Or a variable, though.
Yeah, and it's still a bad game, but the AI is a lot better than it was.
Yeah, I find that hard because surely the compiler would have said, "Hang on a second, this doesn't seem right."
Well, you'd have thought so, but that game was such a mess from start
Yeah.
to finish. I suppose things got missed on that one.
Compiler 5,000 errors. Shit. Anyway,
Yeah, well, come on, man. Modern game development, of course.
just to give you an idea how smart the original AI. They had to tone the AI down a bit to give you an idea how smart the original AI was. Original AI would finish the game for you. So basically, other stalkers would be trying to do the same thing you're trying to do, and sometimes you'd be playing. They had issues with playtesters playing the game, and all of a sudden the game would end because the AI had completed the final objective.
Good job.
Pretty funny.
That's
So-
exactly how I'd want it to be. I would
Yeah.
live stream that just to say, right, I'm just going to chill out here for a bit. Someone grab me a bottle of vodka. Hey, hey. Oh, look, game's done.
Yeah.
Good game.
Um,
Game's completed on stream. Stalker.
When they describe it as a survival shooter, and it has got elements to it, so combat is deadly unless you're equipped for it. There is people complain that this complete mod makes the combat easier because it tweaks the AI. Now, I've played it. I mean, when I played it a long time ago, I found it quite hard. I don't find it as hard, but I don't know if that's because I've played it before, I sort of know what I'm doing, or whether they have actually tweaked the AI. I know they've said apparently, oh, danger of cables. I know apparently they've said they've you're making noise on the audio recorder, Charles.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if it's the case they've tweaked in. They've apparently reduced the range that the AI can see people and so forth, which has made it a bit easier in some regards. But I've not noticed a major difference. You know, it's still challenging to sneak around. You have to be careful when you're sneaking up. So the zone itself is designed to be a very dangerous place. Apart from you've got knowledge you can run into, there's lots of nuisance out there. The nasty ones. So you've got things like your mutant dogs. They're quite harmless, really, in the grand scheme of things. But there are monsters that you meet later on, like the aforementioned bloodsucker. It's a creature that likes to hide around. It can turn itself visible. Likes to hunt outside at night. And it'll come up and sneak up attack you. Then once it attacks you, then backs off, goes visible and does this sort of guerrilla tactics on you.
Yeah.
And facing one is a nightmare. They are tough.
What you're saying is then it's an asshole.
Yes, he is an arsehole, but he's just a creature on survive. There's some monsters that are psychic, so there's these things called controllers, and they basically try and sort of control you. They basically attack you psychically, and so to feel one that, I mean, the first time you encounter one of them is bloody terrifying because, whilst the atmosphere is amazing, you go down these underground bases, for example, it's dark and it's dingy, and you're walking around, and all of a sudden there's a bit early on where you're just walking and you're about to leave, and all of a sudden you just hear this roar, and if you look back you'll see this creature at the end of a corridor, and next thing you know it sort of attacks you in your mind, and it's like you can feel you almost get like your screen like crashes and zooms right towards it in the face, and sort of pulls you into your attacks, you go straight into your brain and mind. That's not script, that's an actual attack it does. So you have to sort of like very cleverly sort of, and fighting that's quite thin, and that's high pitched whine as it goes through. It's terrifying. The game, I mean, I'm playing it, and even after all these years, I don't like going down into the dark places. I think I really don't want to be here. I want to be at the top. I want to get as over as does Crustle. I'm actually now getting saved. It's like the next mission I've got to go on. I know I've got some nasty things on my face. I don't know if I really want to do it. Because actually, that's ingrained in my mind. That you have to play it to get the idea of the atmosphere. It's amazing. So you basically, the idea is basically your goal is to get towards the centre of the zone and find out what's gone on, and eventually you get all the way to the Chernobyl nuclear reactor itself, and so forth. As I said, the complete mod really has made it a lot nicer. It's done some big changes. So you've got sleeping bag now. So when the old stock, when night came, you basically you'd be stupid to go out at night unless you have unless you've got no other reason to. It's dangerous to go out at night. It gets quite dark. You can't really see. There's lots of enemies out there who can easily take you on and beat you. There has been bits where you have not a choice. You know, perhaps the area is full of enemies. You have just got to move on and risk it. but you want to see somewhere, and you'll find like campsites and so forth where other stalkers will be around, they'll play guitars and chatting with each other, and all the incidental dialogue is in Russian. It's only the main character dialogue speaks English. Everything else is in Russian, which adds to the atmosphere. You'll soon learn that "suka" means bitch, and you're thinking
because you are, eh?
Yeah, you're thinking, you're thinking you come across things like, it's got some nice deals. Like, for example, occasionally you'll attack us if you shoot a stalker, you won't actually kill them, but they'll ring them enough. You'll come across and they'll just be laying on the ground, they'll be swearing and groggling and so forth, and you can either just leave them to the zone, someone will take them, or you can stab them and steal their stuff. All rate restrictions is incredibly short. You won't realistically be carrying more than 3 guns at max. Carrying more than that, you're going to be struggling to carry weight, because everything has weight. Your ammunition has weight. The health packs have weight. Everything has weight. There's no free. Even the sleeping bag the mod adds in has weight. Nothing's free in this game. Carrying it wise, so you're going to have to be sensible of what you're doing, what you're carrying, and so forth. And you will find yourself actually very early on, compared to any other sort of survival game I've played, because there's no fast travel in it. None of that.
Good.
Very good. You'll say, right, okay, when you raid people, you know, when you in Skyrim and the Fallout, you go to people, go take all, fast travel, sell it all to the next merchant, fast travel back, take all, back and forth to get some money. You won't do that in this game, because you have to slog it back and forth by on foot, and that's dangerous.
I don't know if I'd like that.
I
understand why
it makes you think. It makes you think about what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can't just. You actually have to behave like you're trying to survive.
Yeah.
You have to think about it. You have food issues, and it's where you get hungry. You have to eat food. You know, because you're going to get hungry in the zone. You don't want to eat. So one thing they added was a sleeping bag. So rather than have to sit around a fire for like probably half an hour in game, you can just put a sleeping bag down and you can sleep.
Yeah.
That's one of the things they added to it, which to be fair, you would do that in real life. You know, if you're the safest place, you would sleep. You can be attacked while you're asleep, so you've got to make sure where you pick you're going to be. Again, in the original Stalker, they said you had to like sort of barricade yourself into buildings and so forth. That never happened. You can't do that.
Sounds a lot like Minecraft.
Yeah,
it was attacked.
The way they described, the way they described it actually, it was going to be incredible. You had to like sort of, you know, you had to, some monsters could like break through certain barricades, so you couldn't just. You had to be careful where you barricaded yourself. It was going to be an incredible game, but they obviously had ambitions up there, but reality was in the low down.
Don't you think it would be neat if they had a remastered version of the Stalker series where it actually had all of the shit in it? Like, imagine the Monster Hunter world of the Stalker series.
Well, a couple of things to say to that. One, S.T.A.L.K.E.R Pripyat, which is the last sort of major games they did, pretty much fixed most of the bugs, and they pretty much reintroduced most things they removed. Because again, there's going to be a faction war system as well in the original Stalker, where the factions, duty and freedom, will be fighting over areas, territory, and they should dynamically move between them. That got removed, but in Corpo it's semi there. It's mainly in Clear Sky. That's a big part. Corpo is semi there, but it's not a big thing because they realised it actually wasn't that fun, so they left out. They did also reintroduce what they call the blowouts. So the idea was in Stalker that every day the Chernobyl reactor or wherever was there would cause this massive psychic blowout, and if you're outside, you're dead instantly. No crossroad, you're just killed. You cannot survive. Couldn't survive it.
That's a bummer.
In Stalker Chernobyl, they're scripted. There's about 3, I think, the whole game, and they're scripted about when they'll happen. In Pripyat, it's daily. They're going to have a random in the day. And it is that moment when also in Pripyat, which I've talked about in the podcast before, you'll get a radio saying there's a blowout incoming, take cover, and everybody it affects everybody. All the other stalkers as well just start legging it towards the nearest cover they can get into to save themselves. I mean, I had a situation called Pripyat, just briefly onto that, where I was attacking a base for the mercenaries. Suddenly a blowout was going to occur. And it was like we had this mini truce, because all the mercenaries just ran into the base, and I ran and hid it somewhere in a pipe somewhere. It was like this mini truce for the few minutes where the blowout occurred. Then once it gone, we all came back out and started shooting each other again. It is a really good game. It is, I suppose, a little bit dated, but you can't beat the atmosphere of it. And it's a game which is unforgiving. I mean, again, I can't remember if the original had regenerating health. But in the complete, it does have regenerate health, but it's very, very, very slow. I mean, it's not like you stand there and it's like you pour something and also your health goes full. It is like you're going to have to stand there for like 20 minutes to like regain a quarter of your health bar. It doesn't really have a big effect on the game.
Sure.
Truth, which is quite nice. So yeah, I do recommend it quite highly. It's a great game. And the other thing I was going to say is they've the company who made it originally have now bought Stalker2.com. Now we'll be interested to see what they come up with, and I hope they are smart enough to stick with the formula, but just make it good, make it better.
Yeah.
Because obviously a lot of Stalker devs went on to make Metro 2033.
Alright.
I was going to ask if it's similar to that.
Metro 3, a lot of the devs who went for Store went, and because it's got a similar atmosphere.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah,
you can tell when you play Metro 3. A lot of people consider Metro 2033 like the sequel.
The fucking stealth segments in 2033 can fuck right off.
I've got them on my PS4, but I haven't played them yet. They remastered the Redux.
Easy mode.
They did. Well, they did fix because the stealthy say was
horribly unforgiving.
Unforgiving, bordering on the fact that it's almost realistically unfair. What I mean is that you literally are walking down a source cold in the dark and you create a small bit of noise and they instantly know it's not a random rat, it's going to be some guy over there who starts shooting at you. That sort of breaks the immersion a little bit to me.
Not only do they know it's some random guy and they start shooting at you, everyone within about, 700 miles happens to know it's a random guy.
Yeah.
They know exactly where that random guy is and they all flood to you.
But the similar idea of like having your watch shows your gas masks and your stealth and so forth, that idea of having all in game is very Stalker-esque. You can tell that it's a lot of evidence carried over. And actually, I think the point that it'd be interesting to see actually what Metro Exodus is going to be like, and see how, because that's going to be almost like the open world version of ST.A.L.K.E.R. It's going to be like these sequels. So, so I'm looking forward to Stalker 2. That's not due out until 2021, which means it'll come out about 2027.
Yeah, look, will we still be podcasting by the time the next Stalker game comes out?
I think we'll all be long dead by the time next Stalker game comes out. I'll be sat there in the retirement home. Oh, Mr. Jackson, that game you like, they know anything new. Have they, Sonny? What's it, Stalker 2? Oh, I remember that for 80 years ago.
You won't be having no Sonny, Mr. Jackson, not in a care home, Mr. Jackson. It'll be a young lassie, and young lassie will be like, fuck off.
Yeah, but I'm planning to be mentally defunct, you see, at that point. I'll just call everybody Sonny.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, but I'm going to pretend I'm mentally defunct anyway, but I'm going to still have my laptop.
He's sat there hacking their
Wi-Fi. Yeah. Now, Mr. Jackson, have you been downloading Pornhub again?
Have you been downloading Pornhub? The entire site. He just no. It's like, not have you been downloading porn? He's been downloading the entire site.
So you right into the bride.
You're just gonna walk. Yeah, you should walk. Most old people's room, you're gonna walk into. There'll be like sort of cat ornaments there, and like pictures of the family. It might not just be about 3 or 4 dead PCs, one main rig, lots of screens, and me in the VR headset.
You'll be like in my. I'll be like in my garage where I've got the fucking 2 huge storage arrays. You'll just have an entire wall of arrays.
You know how like in like real games now they have like on a Thursday they all go to like the central room, they play like a Beetle Drive or like games. The cams of our future, you're going to go, there's going to be rigs and rigs of like PS4s lined up, isn't there, and so forth, and so they're going to be awesome.
Experience this, you shithead.
Yeah. So, right.
Look at this antique.
Yeah. So I've stopped gushing about Stalker. I'm sorry, I do gush about that game. So we can move on to a film review and something unique, because it's a film that we've all seen.
Yeah.
With various degrees of knowledge of the source material.
Yes.
So we've all watched Ready Player One.
Yeah.
So just give us
by Ernie Klein.
Yeah, to give us some context. Skazz has read the book and it's in the film. I know bits and pieces from the book from discussing with you and some background to it. I've also read some bits on the Wikipedia, like the plot of the book and so forth. And I've seen the film. Middlemeister has just seen the film.
Yes, I have seen the front cover of the book.
So you've seen the front cover? Good.
Is that the one that's based on the film?
It's the previous one.
Yeah,
it's not a narrow motion picture cover.
Yeah, a picture of the stack.
Yeah.
So, Ready Player One. Who wants to kick off?
I really enjoyed it. I knew when I'd finished watching it, I thought to me, I did actually genuinely think to myself, I really loved that, but I'm quite glad I didn't read the book. Because there's so often that you do that and you think, you know, like, I like quite a few of the Harry Potter movies, but there's always that bit where you say, well, that wasn't in there. Why have they added that in? That character didn't do that, the other guy did that, and then there's all that kind of stuff. So I was glad I hadn't read the book.
We're trying to keep this as spoiler light as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep it as reasonable as possible.
I'll try.
So we'll say this is a yellow warning for spoilers. We're going to try and be spoiler light, but some stuff may slip through inadvertently.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the general idea is, from the film summary, is there's this big virtual MMO type game, Second Life in VR form. People are obsessed with it. The
world is in ruins.
The world is in ruins. Although in the beginning part of the film, they do show parts where they don't look that in ruins. To be honest, there's like they go to a bit where they show a bit of someone just saying what looks like a normal office and looks like quite a futuristic and posh city and so forth. So I wonder if it's a case of certain parts are really a bit like Deus Ex. Like so much are really the gap between poor and rich is really big now.
I think it's almost like they just gave up on the world. They stopped trying to fix it and things like that.
Yeah. And there's a big VR game, and people play it, and the guy who created it died, and he left an Easter egg.
Yes.
And basically, he said, if you find this Easter egg, then you own the company. And to do this, you need to find 3 keys. I don't know if that's in the book or not. You find the 3 keys, and that's how you have access to the company.
Yeah.
And these people, gunters?
Yes.
Gunters. Egg hunters. Gunters. Who are desperately trying to find the answer, and this guy is 80s obsessed and all sorts, and basically his people all try and trawl through his memories.
That's not how they put it in the film, but yeah,
No.
that's how it. That's,
in the book he is.
Yeah, in the book he is horribly obsessed with the 1980s because that's when all the good stuff in life basically happened for him.
He's somewhat 80s obsessed in the film, isn't he? Like he loves the films of John Hughes and sort of things like that, but it's not. It's more implied than directly, you know, in your face kind of thing.
Yeah. So, and you follow this guy called Wade Watts.
Yes.
And basically he is a gunter. Yes. I don't think is he in there in the book or is he not in the book?
What?
Is he a gunter in the book or is he not?
It has to be really, otherwise there'd be no drive to it.
No, I vaguely read something that he wasn't that obsessed with it in the book.
No, he's horribly obsessed with it, but he's incapable of doing anything because he's so poor.
Yeah, so I mean, perhaps you've read the book, suppose you can explain more the sort of society of poor and bad and stuff.
So, the trick is what was it they said they had in the film? They're like, oh yeah, we had the corn syrup droughts. Blah blah blah, and
the
this other thing.
falls.
And it's like, what are you talking about, you insufferable little tosspot? Oh.
I did like the bandwidth falls bit that they talked about.
Sure, I mean it's
word,
cutesy. It's cutesy, but basically we ran out of oil. We don't have any real way of sustaining our population. We fight each other over resources. We've been nuking each other for God knows how long. So like they say at the very start of the book that literally a major city one day might just go up in a mushroom cloud, just because. And people, there are no jobs. There's more people than there are jobs. In the real world, there's nothing left. We have let it fall to ruin. James Halliday creates the Oasis, a virtual world in which now the entire human race lives. We work in the Oasis, we play in the Oasis. The Oasis has a credit in it, like a currency, which is worth more than any other currency on the planet. So everything is done in the Oasis. You have no reason to go anywhere else, really. It has become the world's prison.
I will say that is something that I still can't quite. That's a weak point of the film, is the idea of the economy, how credits translate from real world to the Oasis and back and forth. Because a bit early on, where one guy says he spent he spent obviously real money to buy stuff for use in the Oasis. He spends their housing money or something.
No, because you can buy housing in the real world with Oasis credits.
Right, because that's what I was trying to think. Because I was sat there thinking, I'm not quite sure if this economy actually could work.
So the idea is kind of like when you go to World of Warcraft, if you want to buy like 1,000 gold, it's $1.
Yeah.
In the Oasis, I mean, everything is wired up to the Oasis, and they show it right at the start of the film. If you want a pizza, you don't call up a pizzeria or go to a pizzeria. You go to a virtual pizzeria in the Oasis, you pay with Oasis credit, and then your pizza gets delivered.
Yeah.
Someone will come to the door, it will get dropped in by drone or whatever like that. You do literally everything in the Oasis. If you are not if you're not doing something in the Oasis, you are either incredibly fucking lucky or too goddamn poor.
Yeah.
Now the Oasis, someone's gonna say, but how is all this a thing? The Oasis is literally free to access. You don't have to even pay for the initial hardware. They will just give you hardware.
Free to play.
Basically, the entire thing. So like imagine the HTC Vive is given to you, and you go. It's free. You don't pay for anything. I think they said like it's $1 to get an account in the book to go into the
And
Oasis.
$1 worth nothing.
Basically. Well, this is back before the world fell to bits, because the Oasis has been gone for fucking years. The fact that the Oasis existed probably didn't help the problems the planet was having, to be fair. Because we found that we were having more fun in the Oasis. Anyways, I've sat around what you were talking about, but I'm trying to explain.
But you're more for the book, so yes, basically you follow these guys and him and his crew.
Yes.
3 people. We've got a guy called H.
Yeah.
He meets this girl. Oh, what's she called? Avatar?
No. H. Artemis. Daito and
Shu.
Sho, but it's not his name. His name is Shoto.
He does say Shoto at one point, doesn't
but
he?
they call it that because they call him Sho all the time in the film. But the only time he's referred to as Sho in the book is when he's teamed up with Daito. They are called Daisho.
Okay.
So
and basically it's him and his crew, and they're all trying to get his gun. It's sort of, I think we can sort of say how the film sort of kicks off. And they're all trying to.
In the books, you said about like how is he a gunner? Wade is basically so fucking poor that when you first create an account in the Oasis, you go to, I believe it's Incipio, which is the like hub world. You know, that's where shops are, your libraries, just pretty much everything you'd want to access is right there in Incipio. A lot of people never leave Incipio to go and explore the Oasis. They just stay there because you can go shopping there. You know, you can like listen to music and stuff like that. Go to libraries. It's all there. So that's where Wade has spent majority of his time. He hasn't changed his avatar any because he can't afford to. There's really nothing to like kill or anything to make Oasis credit there unless you go out and get a job. And even jobs in the Oasis are quite tricky to get hold of. He ends up leaving mainstream school to attend school in the Oasis. Travel in the Oasis costs money. Right, that's how the Oasis stays in business. Travel expenses. You have to pay for fuel for your imaginary car. You have to pay teleportation fees, things like that. So you can earn money by killing mobs, doing quests, things like that. But you have to pay to travel. Wade has no money. So whilst he's an obsessive gunter, he has no money to actually partake in any of the events. He can't do it, he can't afford it. When he joins a school in the Oasis, they give him a teleportation voucher that sends him to the school district's Lutus. It's just a planet of schools. He can't afford to leave Lutus. He has no way, he can't afford teleportation to get off the planet. He has no vehicles to get off the planet because he couldn't afford to run them even if he wanted to. He can't even afford to buy his avatar clothes. His avatar just basically has the generic shit he started with. That's it. He is piss poor.
Not so much in the film.
It's hinted at because he doesn't have any fuel in his DeLorean, but that's about as far as it gets.
Yeah, but the whole bit about him being stuck on a school planet, which I can see why they removed. I can see why they removed it from the film.
There'd be pacing issues.
I can see that it's deleted, isn't it? I can see why they would do that.
Yeah.
So how did he get? Just curiosity, just a slight sidebar. How did he get off the planet in the book? He's got no money. Did someone give him money, or?
So here's the wonderful trick. So you said they have to find the keys to unlock the gates. The first dungeon, the first major event happens on Lutus. It's hidden on Lutus, and it's hinted that Halliday, James Halliday, creator of the Oasis, had planned for a poor student to find the key, because the first it's a no PvP zone for a start. There is nothing to kill on Lutus. Nothing. There is no way to earn credits on Lutus. There are no quests. There is literally nothing. You log in, you go to school, that's it. Halliday hid a dungeon on Lutus. It's loaded with cash. It's got some beastly bosses on it and tons of fucking treasure. It was almost like it was set up for way to find. So anyone could actually do it if they found the dungeon.
I think one of the things I found most unbelievable early on in the film, and it's the solution to the first task, and they've been doing it for years and years, and no one had figured out what to do, how to fix it. I know what PC games are like. I know what games are just like. Bullshit. Somebody would have tried that the very first time they did that game. Someone would have tried that. They would have done. Because somebody's going to be, I'm going to do this because it's going to be funny.
Yeah.
Someone would have done that. That was my sort of first.
We can pretty much spoil the initial. It's a race in the first.
Or we probably should just mention IOI before you.
Oh, okay, sure. There's a competing company to Gregarious Simulation Systems, which is James Halliday's company.
They're the biggest
company,
Oasis, and then IOI is second biggest.
IOI is an internet service provider.
That's what they are.
Yes. They're an internet service provider
are.
competing with Gregarious Simulation Systems. They provide people access to the Oasis. So, yeah, they are the big bad. They are trying to take control of the Oasis.
By throwing money at it, basically.
Well, the idea is that, as you say, anyone that finds the egg gets the Oasis. If they hint at it in the film, IOI is basically trying to find a way to monetize the economic shit out of it. It's all fine and well that they're earning a lot of money by selling, internet services and things like that, and other bits in the Oasis. They feel they could literally spam the shit out of you with ads. They can force you to pay a subscription.
They're Facebook/Google, really, aren't they?
Yeah. They're trying to turn the world's greatest treasure into.
They're digital mining, and they're digital mining people, and they are.
It should be noted that in the book, no one knows who anyone is in the Oasis. All of your information is encrypted, and not even Gregarious Simulation Systems staff can access your account information. They don't know shit. It's private. They won a court battle to say it would stay private. IOI wants to make it all public. They want to be able to search who you are, where you are.
Well, public to them, presumably.
Yeah, I suppose. They want to be able to sell advertisements to you.
Well, so they want to know who you are, but they don't want anyone else to see know who you are, because they want to control the information.
Sure. But they want to be able to unlock all of that information too. So whereas James Halliday had no interest in it. He had no interest in who you were in the Oasis. You were just another character in the Oasis.
Yes, because in the film that if you, again let's explain the first one, is if you die in game, you just basically lose all stuff that your avatar had. You
re-roll your character
from scratch. So it's like a roguelike in a bit of a way. You die, so you go straight to level 1.
Yeah.
Is that in the book?
Yes.
Or was that, so that's the sort of incentive to keep you alive, actually.
Yeah.
How it stops griefing, I'm not sure, because everybody seems to be there's a lot of honour going on.
Well, then you go to a no PvP zone. So, for example, in Scipio, the starter zone where majority of Oasis users hang out, it's no PvP zone.
Yeah.
This is only a visual spoiler, but in the book, Does the bad guy look like a cross between Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne?
Oh,
Because in
Nolan
the film
Sorrento.
he really does.
Nolan Sorrento.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, because in that he's basically Clark Kent, Bruce Wayne mashup, isn't he?
I will be honest. I didn't like the way that they had everything rendered in the film, because the trick is in the book they say it is literally, it looks exactly like it does in real life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
There are
I
bits to do,
understand
aren't there,
why they did it that way.
Differentiate it, yeah.
Yeah.
I did like the fact, because I thought they're going to cop out and your avatars should look like you in the film. I thought they were going to cop out, but no, they actually did go route of actually their avatars looked.
I did. Yeah,
I like that fact they did that.
I did like.
Well,
the
they
look
even
of the
said
film,
that. They even
personally.
said that in the.
Well, I'm saying I thought they were going to cop out
Yeah.
and just.
So they didn't have to render as much stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did like that fact. 'Cause it did sort of make it a little bit more. It felt more gamey like,
Yeah.
you know, because it's.
I saw it in 4K. Just a little hint.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, 4K Blu-ray and everything.
Oh.
So
I know,
just back to
fancy.
the first. You said about the first race.
Yeah, the race didn't happen.
No, but you're saying you're just going to talk about the first race in the film.
No, I just want to say that we could say that it was a race.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
That
right,
Halliday had set up the first kind of quest, almost as if he'd told people there was going to be a daily race. Doesn't happen.
It did look spectacular that way. So I
It
thought-
does, but then
I
that's
know.
what they put.
Did they say in the film that someone actually found the place where
Someone
the race
eventually
was?
found it. Yeah.
Someone found it. wasn't straight away. Someone found it, and then everybody went there and started doing the race.
Oh,
So
yeah,
the
but
port
like,
opened once he'd found it.
It wasn't. That wasn't in the book.
No.
Like someone did find hints, but it wasn't to a race.
No, I get that. I'm just saying it's the different.
And the fact that it was in the middle of a fucking city.
My other, I don't mean
Had King Kong in it, though. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's where
And
they
the
threw
T-Rex
most
and-
of the references.
Yeah.
Full stop was in that initial
Yeah, yeah.
part of the fucking thing. No.
Yeah. I also, my other sort of gripe with it issue was that, so in the film, a small group of people get the first key, they then go off, and then a couple of those people get the second key, and then all of a sudden I arrive somehow on the third planet, the third challenge, and on the leaderboards they only show 3 people. So all these guys playing the third challenge, where have they had the first and second key? Who's got that? That sort of thing. Like, it's like, well, hang on a second, how can they be doing the third challenge if they haven't got the keys? They could do it, but they're going to be 2 keys short.
Oh, they wouldn't have been able to do it anyway, because they wouldn't have allowed it.
Exactly. So that's sort of like, although it had this like, I will say the battle at the end was quite fun.
Yeah.
With all these different sort of groups and like characters.
Was in the book.
Hundreds of different series. That was quite fun.
Yeah.
But it's a bit weird how they managed to get to the stage where they could get to the third key without having the other 2, because I could sort of accept if it was shown like on leaderboard where there's lots of IRI employees.
Which is how it happens in the book.
Yeah. So
Maybe because they don't have names, they never appeared or something.
No, because their numbers,
Oh, no,
still,
no.
the
Yeah.
6's numbers still appeared on the leaderboard.
yeah.
All
We'll have to, yeah. And because you think that's absolutely devastating, because it means that every single time one of them gets rezzed, or what's it called? What they called in the film? What they called people that died?
That doesn't really matter. But
Right, despawn, whatever you want to call it. They'd have to go through and redo all the first one. They'd go back to that final place. So
Well, the trick with the 6's the 6's being the IOI guys. They are cheating motherfuckers, in that they have millions of accounts that are not tied to any one user, and they just literally started farming the keys and the gates as soon as they found out how. And then if you died, well, let's say you're a good player at, say, one part of the game, like, say, the race. Well, if
you'd sign in with that account.
yeah, if you died, if your avatar died, and you've got like fucking a couple 100,000 accounts spare, because you're like, well, we're not going to let Scrubby play today because he's not very good at the race. I'll take his account. They were just swapping accounts.
Yeah.
They were cheating every step of the way because they scan your eye, they do a voice check. You cannot get into people's accounts without their passphrases and other data. IO have hacked their machines. In fairness, they should have all been banned from like the get-go, but yeah, they're all cheating wankers.
Yeah.
So it's not a case of they've gone and got 3 keys and now someone's dead. They've got fucking hundreds of thousands of people farming those keys. And when someone died, they'd get that good player to go back in and do the thing again.
At least they had a romantic subplot though.
But that was in the book.
That was in the book.
Was it?
Yes.
I was told it wasn't so much.
Oh, I didn't think it was so heavy in the book though. Was it?
Oh, it's pretty hard.
Is it?
Because we did
okay.
agree. Because I always said when I thought it wasn't in the book that you need a bit of that just to add an extra level of risk to it.
Our entire motivation was bullshit though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I do like the fact that she's going to be like this big type N player, and who's also a gunter. Yet somehow, and initially when they first meet, she seems to when they first had this all like little meeting in the work, they seem to know they both seem to have equal knowledge about Halliday. The bit later on, they go somewhere and she hasn't got the foggiest idea. And it's like they go to this place and they sort of look through some of his stuff he did, and she goes, "Oh, is that so and so? I didn't know that."
But she knew all the basics, didn't she? He knew all the private stuff, all the really big.
But that's not that's not how it happened in the book.
Right.
At all.
Isn't it true they come together actually quite late in the book? They actually come like they don't turn up. They don't meet each other until quite late on.
I wouldn't say late, but I'd say you'd be reading for a good like hour or two before that even becomes a thing, because they meet in the first dungeon.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for the book. Artemis was the first person to find the dungeon in the book, and Wade was the second, but Wade was the first person to complete it.
Right. Yeah.
Ah. Right. Okay. Yeah.
So,
do you think is there a part of the book where you think maybe they could have split it into maybe 2 movies?
Or minis. I think it would have been done better as a mini-series.
Yeah, but the budget would have been a bitch.
That's down.
well,
That's
this is right. So one thing that we haven't touched on at all is that the film is a rewrite, and you guys have said that it's a rewrite by Ernest Cline himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I complained that it was a rewrite. However, I understand why it was a rewrite. The base plot is still there, but there are, other than that, like the book is nowhere. It's not there.
Yeah.
Mainly because if you read the book, the first hour and a half of the book, they'd have blown the entire film's budget on licensing rights.
Yeah.
They've literally just said, "Fuck, we need to make a film, but we can't literally license this. Just look, we can get these things. Let's rewrite the story to fit these."
It's understandable, but it's not.
Well, like we said in the last podcast, I couldn't understand how they'd have made this film on the budget they had with all of those references. They didn't. They didn't. They just rewrote it.
We were saying that if it went for Spielberg, they'd probably be even less, wouldn't they? 'Cause of all these
No, I
buddies.
think Spielberg actually helped a hell of a lot. Having his name tied to it
Sure.
would have opened a lot of doors. There are probably a lot of references in that film that wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the fact that Spielberg, "Oh, hey, John, can I have your dinosaur, please?"
Yeah, that's it.
That sort of thing and so forth. And I mean, it's one of the things where you are watching, you're thinking, "Oh, that's one of those," and there's someone only got on screen for literally a fraction of a second. Some of those things. And I mean, I'm sure I've seen an old killer can in there. And I want to rewatch it, see if they are.
Freddy Krueger, all those little bits.
There are lots of really cool referencey bits in it. However, they were mostly wrong. I mean, they had to put in a lot of references for people of nowadays.
Yeah.
Halliday was obsessed with the 80s. The book is very 80s.
There's still quite a lot of 80 references.
Yeah, but there's no Tracer.
No.
There's no Overwatch fucking Tracer.
That's
there's
a
no
little bit jarring.
Planet Doom. They fucked with so many of the main characters in that. And
So what do you think? Because I mean, Simon Pegg didn't work for me.
Nope.
I
didn't like him as Ogden Morrow at all.
When I see Simon Pegg, I just think comedy. I don't think.
Well,
I know it's not a super serious film.
Ogden Morrow is kind of the comedy guy, but you know Steve Wozniak.
Yeah.
Ogden Morrow in my head is Steve Wozniak.
Yeah. I like the one who played Halliday.
Now, I thought he did a lot better job than I first gave him credit. When I first saw he was going to be playing Halliday, I was like, that's not going to go.
He said
it
comes across as like a sort of this introvert, computer geek. I could imagine him being an actual person you could see now on the news who works on he makes me think of that guy who's heavily involved with Linux. What's his
Linus Torvalds.
Yeah, it makes
Or
me think,
Richard Stallman.
that's him. It makes me think of him a little bit.
Yeah, Stallman.
Yeah. So and I quite liked him.
He's done a lot of books Spielberg lately. Can't remember his name though. I think it's Mark something. But
Yeah. So I know you don't like Wade Watts. The guy who played Wade Watts.
It was wrong.
Well, like I said, I never saw the book, but I really
Well,
did.
if
You
you
saw the book, didn't you? You saw the
Yeah, I
book.
saw the
If
cover.
you look at the
I
cover,
really loved the movie, but
look at the cover of the book, because I had to do a double take. When I watched the film, I was like, shit, did they base his outfit on the shit in the book? Because the idea is that Wade is so poor he can't even afford to buy himself clothes, right? Yet Wade in the fucking movie is dressed like average Joe public. Clothes that fit, they all match up. You know, he's got a pair of jeans, shirts and that. Wade can't. No, he can't. Like, all of his clothes have been taken out of, clothes banks.
Yeah. So his family, the people in his family, are they the same sort of people in the book, or they?
No, God, he
They
hated
exist.
him.
Well, he hated him.
His aunt and his.
No, he hated his aunt,
Yeah.
and she hated him. But in the
the
book,
book,
they
yeah.
made out there was some
There was a
kind of
boyfriend in there, wasn't there?
Rick. They're still the same, but not quite. But Aunt Alice, that relationship was total bollocks. Absolute bollocks. And, spoiler alert, some people somehow managed to survive an explosion in the stacks.
I was a bit surprised that old woman turned up alive. I don't know how she made it out.
Yeah, that's my point. Mrs. Gilmore.
Yeah. I was like, how did she live?
Oh,
to be fair, the stacks that's probably the most violent that happens in the film. Really,
Yes.
is the stacks.
Right, so there's a terrorist attack in the stacks where Wade lives, and in the book, that's fucking devastating. Stacks basically being, if you've ever seen the cover of the book, or
It's trailer park vertical.
Yeah, on scaffolding. In the film, one stack in the stacks comes down. In the book, the whole fucking area is like Sector 7 out of Final Fantasy 7. It's rubble.
Damn.
They blow everything up. As one stack falls down, it literally dominoes and takes down a couple of others.
There's definitely a film they've lightened the film because it's rated 12.
Yeah,
so it's obviously lighted for kids.
They definitely.
I think kids will actually really like the film.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people will really like the film, and I'm really glad they made the film, and I'm glad that Ernest Cline's getting the bank for the film.
Yeah.
I just think the book is far superior.
Yeah. So, question. And it's always hard to answer these sort of questions.
Yeah.
If you hadn't read the book and seen the film, do you think you would like the film?
I've already said that I've already gone on the record with people saying that if I hadn't have read the book, the film would have been alright. But because I've read the book
It's always
multiple times, the film just doesn't come close. The character designs, they ruined tons. If you've watched the film, if you go back and read the book, they're going to spoil so much. So much of that book is going to be wrecked for you right now.
I did that with when they made the Golden Compass based on Northern Lights. They made a movie of that, the Philip Pullman book, and that was pretty close, but they changed the entire emphasis of the ending of the book completely. Like there's a cat. I don't really want to spoil it, but basically, there's a child murder at the end of the book, and in the film, that they end the film just before that happens.
Yeah, sure.
And there are things like that. That's so I can understand why if you've read the book, the movie would annoy you.
Certain characters that shouldn't have even featured became main characters in the film. No idea why. Many scenes that didn't happen in the book were main features in the film. Events were completely rewritten. Characters that had no relationships before became heavily influenced by something that didn't exist in the film.
Is the sort of corporate person his right hand man? The guy with the holes in his chest.
I rock.
Is he in the book?
He is. He's one of the characters I'm complaining about. He went to school with Wade. He features for the grand total of, oh, I don't know, 10 pages. Then he's gone. Never to be seen again. Oh shit, he's the main villain in the film.
Yeah, I didn't get it in the film. Like, everybody's like, when everybody dies, all the gold coins come out of them. Oh, this is a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. When he only like all like leaks a bit. So that sort of breaks your logic there.
Well, I-Rock isn't a main character in the book.
No.
He's a kid they go to school with. When H and Wade, Parzival, end up on the leaderboard, I-Rock starts trying to shake him down for information. When they don't tell, he grasses them up saying that they're students on Lewis. And then from that point on, he's gone.
Is there a villain in the book similar to him that they just repurposed to him?
Yeah.
No.
No, the villain in the book is Nolan Sorrento.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right.
Nolan Sorrento. Nolan Sorrento is a gamer in the book. He's a competent coder. He is good. He's good at his job and he's fucking evil. He is everything in the book that he isn't in the film. Right. He's a whiny little bitch, scrubby motherfucker.
Yeah, because he has no idea what's going on.
He's a CEO kind of type.
But in the book, he was a hunter. He was a gunner. Once upon a time. His motivations are pretty hardcore in the book and in the side. There's a side piece to the book that came out after the book that Ernest Cline liked so much that he made it canon. It explains all of Nolan Sorrento's motivation. It makes the character. None of that in the film. In fact, none of the stuff from Nolan Sorrento from the book is in the film. He is a whiny little... I mean, they used Nolan Sorrento as a way to explain how the Sixers were cheating. Yeah. Because they were like, oh, well, Nolan Sorrento's a bit of a plebeian in the fucking film. He doesn't understand anything. So, in the film, in the book, everyone's connected to everyone else in the Sixers headquarters. So if they're feeding information to one another, other people can literally take control of anyone else's account in IOI. And they show that in the film by literally just having an earpiece in Nolan's ear constantly, and people are constantly feeding him information about the game, Halliday's hobbies, things like that. That's not how it happens in the book at all.
So that little group of researchers.
There are oologists. The study of birds' eggs. Which then became the study of Halliday's Easter egg.
I quite like that little group of people in the film.
They are in the book. There's a fucking ton of them. But Sorrento isn't constantly wired up to them because he's plenty competent enough to do most of it himself anyway. In the film, he's a blithering idiot.
Yeah, he's corporate, isn't he? He's only he wants to win just for corporate. He hasn't got any. That's his only drive.
Not his motivation in the book.
No.
I'll tell you guys the motivation after the podcast if you're interested.
Yes, I would be interested. Well, you can tell us because this doesn't apply to the film unless you want to spoil the book.
Well, I'd rather not. I'd rather
that's fair enough.
Find out.
Fair enough. No,
I could spoil so much more in this thing, but I'm trying to hold back, to be honest. It is a rewrite, but many of the main characters are wrong. Their motivations are wrong. A lot of stuff that just doesn't happen.
You might just have to tell Nick about that then, because I quite like to read the book now. So.
Yeah, I want to read the book as well, but not too worried.
Well, if I let's put it this way: if I tell you it before you read the book, it will completely change how you look at Nolan Sorrento.
Oh, fair enough. I will know that.
Yeah.
Sure. So if you read the book, tell me when you've done it,
and then you can tell me what that bit I was telling you about. Here's what it is. I know I read it.
What kind of book is it? Chunky or is it?
About yay thick. You can read it in an afternoon.
Yeah.
I think I read it when the kids were little dots. They were just sat in the garden, and I was sat there.
I think we actually discussed the book on our very first podcast. You know.
Yeah.
I think you did.
Yeah.
So,
That was about the time I read it, actually.
yeah,
To be fair,
5 years ago.
yeah.
Crumbs.
I really enjoyed the book.
So, final thoughts. I like the film, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I've watched it twice.
Yeah, if you got it the first time, I can see. I'll see myself watching it again. So, I can see. I know where you're coming from, but it didn't stop me enjoying the film.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Had I have not read the book.
I mean, did you hate the film from reading the book, or did you not?
Well, I sent you a message on Google Hangouts, and I think it was no more than 6 minutes 20 in before I table flipped. The first time I got really angry at the film was no more than 6 minutes in.
Oh, right.
They fucking rewrote. I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there.
Okay.
The characters didn't meet each other that early on. How they met each other is completely different. They ruined many a twist within 6 minutes of that film.
Okay.
6 minutes of that film ruins.
Mark Rylance. Sorry,
So-
that's the guy who played Halliday.
Ah.
That was bugging me.
At least 3 of the characters in 6 minutes 20.
So is it a thumbs down or is it a thumb sideways?
Sideways.
Cool. Thumbs up?
Oh, big up.
And
Two thumbs up.
I want to give thumbs up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The thing is, it's not a bad film, but if you're I know many fans of the book actually really quite like the film, but I just couldn't handle how much they changed.
Yeah.
The guy who played Wade, cracking job, but you didn't look like how they described Wade in the book
No.
at all. Wade's a fat kid. He's a fucking fat kid.
I wanted that to make the difference between when he's there and when he's in the Oasis kind of thing.
Yeah,
That would have been quite an interesting experience.
he's fat and horribly out of shape. His hideout, wrong. In the start of the film, they show you with his treadmill and all that. He doesn't have that.
No, you see, because they do show people doing.
Yeah.
So I started thinking that doesn't actually add anything to it. That treadmill doesn't add anything. The fact that it's got that rig doesn't actually make any difference. He could have quite easily been just sat down with a pair of gloves and a headset.
Which is how he starts in the.
And that would work absolutely fine for.
He didn't get that rig until at least halfway through the book, when he's actually got someone there. He doesn't drive a DeLorean at the start of the book because he's got no money.
It could have been a complete disaster. With certain directors now. I think there's only a few.
I'm glad that Spielberg did it.
It could have been an absolute nightmare.
I tell you what, it did feel like an 80s film with Spielberg. He did direct it very. It did feel the pace and the style of it did feel like a 19. Apart from the quality of the graphics, I could imagine that film coming out in 1980.
There's no library of Halliday's memories in the book.
Is there a way in the book that would be very hard to film though to explain that side of it, his past and everything?
Well,
is there there's a lot of that internal kind of logic in books that you can't really transport to a film visually.
Well, a lot of people, because a lot of people didn't see that either.
No.
No one in the book did that. They read they read his journal.
Yeah, you can't.
No, but the whole idea is that they'd go back and they would see things that happened. Halliday didn't have time to recreate all of that. He was busy working on. He hated life outside of the Oasis. He was an addict of the Oasis himself.
Yeah.
I get the feeling that the film was like all the stuff that he set up. He obviously set up well before he died. It was like 6 months before. He's obviously. I get the feeling in the film that he'd been setting this up for years.
Oh yeah, but he had been in the book, but like they'd filmed every single shred of his life. He didn't do that. He didn't do that at all.
I personally got the feeling that it wasn't that they filmed his life; it's that he recreated it based on his memories. I didn't feel they filmed.
No, because in the film they say to you how there's literally video of every single day of his life. How would he have been able to recreate all that from memory? How would he have been able to recreate the meetings with him and Ogden Morrow from memory in his...
Someone kept notes.
He was completely disconnected from most other people.
Yeah.
So when Nolan Sorrento turns up in Halliday's office and he's pestering him about how to launch the Oasis, Halliday would have practically blanked the fuck out of him.
He did blank him within the scene, but
yeah, sure, but like he wouldn't have even acknowledged the fact that he was there.
Yeah.
You know? No. I mean, they look, yeah, this day at this time, and they rewound it.
Yeah.
No way.
Maybe we should save the rest of the discussion for part 2 next.
Oh
Next
God.
No, I think we've covered it quite well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Just that entire building doesn't exist.
No.
None of that stuff appears in the book at all. I know that someone's going to say, well, how are they going to show it? Show, not tell. But none of the Gunters had access to any of that information. None of it. If it wasn't in Halliday's journal that he released in like a PDF at the start of the hunt, then they would have had it.
On that note,
Yeah.
I think we put the worlds right.
Yep.
So, I've been TheSuffolkRam.
Been Middlemeister.
Skazz.
Thank you for watching episode 95. And we're on the final countdown towards North Korea.
Yeah.
The often you can say that.
We will disappear.
So, so if I was watching, we look forward to seeing you in the future.
Cool.
Bye.